Yeah, I know a lot of people, majority of people, a lot of people who don't listen to the show, they don't know how to read between the lines. And a lot of the time they basically say, well, I'll just accept what I hear on the mainstream. Many times I get this, where people say, oh, I love your show. I don't agree with what you say. And then finally the mainstream says something. So, oh, I was wrong about what? And I'm like going, okay. You have to wait for a confirmation from these smug little jackwagons that run CNN or CNN Plus, which, by the way, doesn't work anymore. It's not going to be doing anything after April. But see, the food crisis was easy to predict because of empty magic words that were used by the political elite needed to be exposed, and I'm exposing them. I want to expose them to you. And when they speak, you should always question what they really mean. For example, the Green Agenda that was first proposed at the 2030 summit and was backed by the World Economic Forum stated that they had a mission to end world hunger. That sounds good, doesn't it? They're going to end world hunger. How great is that? It's great. Their solution, obviously, though, is to kill the hungry and those who are a burden on health care. That's what they mean by ending world hunger. It's all in the way you say it, right? We're going to end world hunger. We're going to kill the hungry in the process. That's how we're going to do it. Kill the hungry. Kill those who are burdened on health care. Their mission also, World Economic Forum's mission statement and the Agenda 2030 statement was they wanted to feed the world. Although now we see that, yes, the technocrats like Bill Gates, they bought up farms and invested in GMO foods, and that these chemical companies will feed the world. All other sources of food will be regulated out of existence. That's how they feed the world. So they kill the hungry and they feed the world with crap. GMO crap. Proteins that are crap. Made in a lab. Crap. Now, they say that all of their actions are going to promote food security. But when you read between the lines, you realize that this means that all the food will be locked up behind sturdy barriers patrolled by guns to keep it out of reach of the unworthy. You don't play by our rules, you don't get to eat. Food security means the weaponizing of food, ladies and gentlemen, and the cutting off of foodstuffs to those who do not comply with the new regulations of the Great Reset. You will not be able to buy, sell, or do any business unless you commit to their newly established order. Whether you want to call it, I don't know, call it the new normal, or it harkens back to what we've read in the Bible about the system that requires the mark of the beast. You don't play our game, you don't get to eat. See, people complain about conspiracies, but one should just listen properly when these plutocratic imbeciles speak down to you. You need the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. And as I read to you from the website in the last hour, their plan includes a transformation of the global food and agricultural industries and the human diet. The architects of the plan claim it's going to reduce food scarcity, hunger, and disease, and even mitigate climate change. But a closer look at the corporations and the think tanks of the World Economic Forum is partnering with is all there to usher in this global transformation. And it suggests that the real motive is tighter corporate control over food systems by any means necessary, even using new technological solutions, chemicals, GMOs, all those things. This should be obvious by now, as we have seen that the plan of starving the world is underway. It's part of the plan, a plan that was first introduced by Henry Kissinger in 1974. I've always asked, and you can go to aftermath.media because the document is there, and maybe we'll get them to refer to the document in the show when it's posted tonight. Ron, make note of that. National Security Study Memorandum 200. We'll put that in with the show with your subscription. National Security Study Memorandum 200, planned by Henry Kissinger to reduce population growth by creating famine, sort of a Northwoods-type false flag attempt at population reduction through a number of events that would create food scarcity. all carried out by alphabet agencies and other think tanks like the Council of Foreign Relations and the Club of Rome, among others. The plan was to create a series of events that would first collapse the food chain supplies to Europe and Africa and eventually the Midwestern United States. Memorandum 200 claimed that population growth in the so-called lesser developed countries was a grave threat to the United States national security, adopted as official policy in November of 1975 by President Gerald R. Ford. National Security Memorandum 200 outlined a covert plan to reduce population growth in those countries through birth control, abortion, war, and famine. National Security Study Memorandum 200 similarly concluded that the United States was threatened by population growth and that measures had to be taken to lessen the population of the United States, or that we would be forced to regulate vital resources like food and water. There were several measures that Kissinger advocated to deal with his alleged threat, most prominently birth control, reproductive laws, reproductive growth, population reduction programs. He also warned that population growth rates are likely to increase appreciably before they begin to decline, even if such measures were adopted. So there was a second measure, and that was curtailing food supplies to targeted states, in part to force compliance with birth control policies. He stated, there is also some established precedent for taking account of family planning performance in appraisal of assistance requirements by AID-US, the Agency for International Development Consultative Groups. He stated the population growth is a major detriment of increases of food demand, or determinant, rather. He said it was a determinant of increases in food demand.